What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hook One Pod. Hey, we're here in the studio at Hook One Bait and Tackle in Marine City. As always, I'm Pete.
I'm Nate.
Nate's got a sneaky look on his face over there right now. What's going on?
Been trying to do this podcast for a while.
Yeah, we have. Well, it's finally slowing down a little bit in the shop. I think all the hot weather and everything's kind of getting to everybody. But hey, before we dive into it, I've got to do my due diligence, you guys. And obviously, we need you guys to support the people that are supporting us. I want to give a huge shout out to our sponsors. You can see the discount links here below. But our friends over at Whitewater Fish, they just came out with some new products. Their new duck camo tech shirt's pretty sweet. Our friends over at Papa's Pilar, keeping us hydrated all summer long out on the boat. Cortland Line and Great Lakes Anglers Co. If it wasn't for Great Lakes Anglers Co., I don't know if I'd be able to peel my eyes open at 5 in the morning every day, especially with the baby. But no, man, everything's been good. We're here to basically recap 2025. We are halfway done with 2025.
It's crazy. Flew by.
By the time this comes out, it'll be the last day of June when this thing comes out. So June 30th, I can't believe it. So the first half is done, and it's been a crazy first half. Obviously, for those of you guys that have watched the podcast before, you kind of know how it goes. When we get into busy season, we kind of fall off. There's just no way to keep up with everything. Maybe if Nate would pick up some more slack in the shop, I guess.
Hard.
We need Dean. We need retired Dean to start packing on hours.
Has Dean been on a podcast yet?
Dean would want to do a fly fishing podcast. Dean's never been on a podcast.
We got to get Dean.
Yeah, we'll do the whole. Yeah. We got to do the whole Hook One. I want to do like a really big one. I want to get a bunch of people around a round table, but I haven't figured out the logistics behind it because of this stupid thing. But I guess we could use the mics on the computer and the camera. They're just not as good. They're fine. They're just not as good. But anyway, guys, we are going to dive into everything that was the first half of 2025. We're going to talk about spring fishing and the weather. Wah, wah, wah.
Terrible weather.
Yeah, we're going to get into it.
Wind.
Oof. We're going to talk about the spring derby. We had the best derby that we've ever had here at Hook One. We've had the most contestants. We've had the heaviest fish. We had the most kids sign up. It was a really good derby considering how horrible the weather was. We're going to talk about the spring bash. Voila. We're going to talk about the tournament that we helped put on with the Bell River Marina and the Bell River Mini Storage and Rose Marine. So that was an absolute smasher of an event. That happened in April, so we're a couple months late, but we're talking everything first half. We're going to talk about some new stuff in the store, some new stuff that we did this year, some new products that we brought in this year. We brought in Pete and Plastics. That was one of the craziest in-store events we've had. We think we sold 850 bags of plastics in a weekend. So just people getting fired up. It was, me and Nate keep saying it was the perpetual getting ready year this year. Everybody just kept getting ready because of the weather, because of the wind, because of the watercolor. Everyone just kept getting ready, stocking up.
It seemed like there were guys getting ready to pull harnesses in April. I mean, they were getting ready to pull harnesses in April. Casting guys were getting ready in April. It was because we had such shitty weather.
Yeah.
All spring that nobody could jig, and it was just looking forward to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing because there was
and it just never
get out.
Yeah, it never really stopped. Like, we're sitting here the last week of June, and I kept saying, like, I just can't wait till June till it levels out. Like, I can't wait till June till at least the wind stops blowing and we can get out there and we can figure some stuff out.
It's still not good. The wind's still not good.
It's gonna maybe thunderstorm today. It's gonna maybe thunderstorm tomorrow. It's gonna maybe thunderstorm on Saturday. Like, it just doesn't. We got the Madness tournament canceled on us, which I was super stoked to fish out on Lake St. Clair. Yep. The MWT tournament out on or up in Oscoda got canceled out on Lake Huron. Too windy. We've already had a few league nights canceled. Yep. The Lake Erie MWT was a nasty event.
And that was a one-day shootout, right?
And that it was a one-day shootout. And then Detroit River, even the MWT for the Detroit River, it was probably some of the smallest bags we've seen, not because of, the tournament or the anglers, but simply for the fact that the water was trashed, dude. I mean, people were pre-fishing and for 2-3 days, and they were catching 2-3 fish a day on the Detroit River in April. Like,
Not good.
No, horrible, absolutely horrible. So the conditions have definitely been something that's been getting to us. But again, that's part of it.
Yeah.
Part of the game. A road being closed. Oh, to our loyal customers, to the guys that come into the store, you know what we're talking about. Oh, hopefully that'll be fixed soon. They said by mid-May it'd be fixed. It's what? June 26th?
June 26th.
They're a little behind, just a little behind schedule. It happens, right?
They don't work when it rains. They don't work when it's too hot.
Well,
They don't.
Marine City's infrastructure is also like 90 years old. So that story is for a different time. But let's kind of dive into this thing. The first thing we're going to do is follow up with what we've been talking about. And even though the weather has been tough this spring, and maybe it's because there's less boats out there, the fishing has been incredible. Like,
Yeah, when
like
you
up
change
until
out,
yesterday.
fishing is great.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Great.
And even if you bear the weather, like, you know, a lot of times it's like, well, I don't want to go sit out there in the wind and the rain, you know, if we're not going to catch anything. Oh, you're going to catch them. You're going to catch them. Those fish are still in the river. Chase was just up in Port Huron today and caught his 12 fish in 45 minutes jigging.
Wow.
And you didn't find the fish till 7 a.m. So it's not one of those bites where he's out at 4:30 in the morning getting those fish. So it's like the fishing is still incredible. We caught a 3-man limit 3 days ago pulling worms. Chase is still jigging. We went out to the lake. We caught how many fish between the four of us, dude? 50?
50, 60. Who knows?
You know what I mean? And it is interesting. There's a lot of small fish in the system right now, which is a really, really good sign for this fall and for next spring, because we need those small fish to kind of, you know, sustain that population.
Yeah.
But I mean, what have you been seeing? I mean, you've been
Small
fishing quite a
fish.
bit. A lot of small fish.
More small fish than ever that I've seen. I mean,
There's
it's
one-
ridiculous.
I don't want to get Nate too riled up here. You guys might see him get red in the face. But there was a little bit of fishing that was subpar this year.
Terrible.
What was it?
The Atlantic.
Salmon in general.
Salmon and well, the coho fishing was spectacular.
It was fine. It was chill.
spectacular.
Chill. It was way better 3-4 years ago. Way better. And we finally got that ice in the river. I'll let you go. But we finally got that ice in the river, dude. And it just wasn't. And maybe it's because I didn't have as much time to fish, but just talking to people like, you know, anglers that come in and that were stocking up spoons, thin fins, money badgers, you know, getting their boards and stuff. It just didn't seem as consistent, I guess, is what I want to say.
I will agree with that. There was days where you would go out and catch, you know, I was fishing a lot, 2 or 3 guys. You catch your 10 or 15 fish in an hour if you wanted to, and then there was days where you would go out and not get a bite. I think back to the weather thing, that had a lot to do with it. Whether it was, you know, the waves, the watercolor, because there was a 2-week period where we couldn't even salmon. I mean, the water was just too dirty. It was.
And the salmon, like the walleye fishing, was very good. For those of you guys that don't know, the walleye fishing was incredible because the water was like a really good stain. Like, I think a lot of people get too freaked out when they see dirty water, but dirty water isn't muddy water. Like, you can still have really good fishing. But for the salmon, you almost need clean water.
The cleaner, the better.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is arguable because I know there's some guys that say, "Oh, well, you know, it can be too clean." I don't think it can ever be too clean.
No,
you just got to drop down your leader size. You got to. I mean, sometimes you might have to run a 30-foot dipsy leader and run your baits 40 feet behind your balls, but you're still gonna catch fish.
Behind your what?
Behind your balls. The big black balls down there.
The big black downrigger balls.
But the Atlantic fishing was terrible. It was all spring. Water stayed cold for too long, I think, is what we saw in talking to a couple of the guys that were also pretty dialed in on the Atlantic program. The last few years, the best we did was when the water was 52 to 55 degrees. And we never really had a consistent 52 to 55. It warmed up for like a week, and it was right around 52. And then it dropped back down to 45.
That
Like,
was
it
the
just
problem.
tanked.
That
It
was
just
the problem.
tanked.
Yes.
And then once it started warming up again, it's like it just shot right past it. We were at a 62, 63 degree water temp.
100%.
I don't think we never had that perfect water temp for them. Compared to the last couple years, we had no bait in the river.
See, and that's where I was going to go with this is the weather, between the weather conditions and the cold water. I mean, it was 48 degrees on Memorial Day.
Terrible.
So usually everyone's
I
boating
mean,
and enjoying themselves. It was
yeah.
the water was 48 degrees. The water, not the weather. The water was 48 degrees on Memorial Day. And the problem with that is talking with, even our bait guy, they dip all of our minnows. Like all of our minnows are fresh from the river or the lake or wherever. They had a brutal year, dude. They had a brutal year. And I think the bait had a huge thing to do with it because even the salmon that we were catching were
Yeah.
deep.
They were
Like
deep.
typically we're running high lines. I've been preaching on this channel, oh, you don't need to fish deeper than 10 feet. You don't need to fish deeper than 10 feet. This year it was a totally, totally different scenario. Those fish were deep. Your deeper baits got bit. Your downriggers got bit a lot more, but all the bait was deep because of the weather. And it's still, the bait fishing is still tough. And I think that's a huge, huge reason to do with them salmon.
Yeah, I would agree. Early in the year, my best rods were 20 and 25 down on a rigger. I mean, that was like all we could get a bite on for the first 2 weeks. And then it kind of slowly, fish started moving up, it seemed like. I'd say overall, my best rod, though, is a downrigger 13 to 17 down. And that's,
So still fairly high.
but 13 down and 25 feet of water is
Down.
that down.
No.
That's down.
Yeah, a lot of times
I
you're
mean,
only like,
that's-
8 to 10.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And a good majority of the fish that we did catch, I would say probably 90% of them, when we cleaned them, had small perch or small rock bass or gobies. We didn't see the big numbers of emerald shiners in their stomachs that we normally see.
No, usually they're chock full of shiners like this big.
Yeah.
And we did not
as
see
many
that
as
at
you
all.
can
And
fit.
even the walleyes, dude. Like even our walleye had smelt in them. The ones that were feeding on the bottom had
Yep.
smelt in them. And right now, a lot of our walleyes that we're catching, especially down towards the lake, and even up here, they've all got small perch in them. They've all got 2-3 inch perch. The bigger fish,
Bigger than that.
the bigger fish, those fish that are over 20 inches have some
Big
honkers in there, 5-6 inch perch in
Yeah.
their mouth. And that's what I was gonna roll into next. Walleye fishing, good.
Very good.
Salmon fishing, meh,
Not good.
not good.
not
I will say steelhead was better.
Steelhead, we had a magnificent year.
Yeah,
for
steelhead was way better.
We caught more steelhead this year than I've ever caught.
Yeah, so steelhead was good. It reminded me of like some pre-COVID fishing because from understanding who I'm talking to and everything like that, it seems like the steelhead really got affected by COVID and the COVID plants and all that sort of stuff. So,
Yeah.
and it makes sense.
Do you think they caught COVID too? That
It
might have
depends if they
something-
had their mask on.
Right.
We're gonna get yelled at. And but no, the perch fishing this year has been incredible. I would say the last 2 years have been like the standard on Lake St. Clair. And you could tell me I'm wrong below in the comments, but the last 2 years between last spring, last fall, and this spring, it's equivalent to Burwell, it's equivalent to Simcoe.
I think a lot to do with that is the ice conditions that we've had the last couple of years,
yeah.
where we haven't had good ice, and those guys cannot get out and target the good perch on the ice. I think that could have something to do with it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I can think of. That would really be.
To be honest with you, man, I think a lot of it's cyclical. We can look at how
absolutely.
the DNR changed our limits and get into that. And you could talk to 5 different guys. We do here in the store. You could talk to 5 different guys and you're going to get 5 different answers. And I think the biggest thing of all is it's cyclical. And I think that's with a lot of things. I think that's with the fishing. I think that's with our winters. Like, I think sometimes we overanalyze a lot of stuff and we realize that Earth is Earth and it's just does what it does, right? And it has patterns and it's a very cyclical. And I think the perch are just back, but we haven't seen this type of perch fishing as long as I've been alive. Not on St. Clair.
I'm younger than you.
Yeah, I know. I got you by a decade, which is also crazy. But no, I've never seen. But even talking to your dad and your grandpa, like they've grown up out here. They've done this, and it's like the fish that you're seeing. When you're going out walleye fishing out around one of the channels, and you're accidentally catching 11 to 13 inch perch, it's like, okay, throw in the live well.
What was it, 2 weeks ago? I went out. I caught 23 keeper perch and 8 walleye. We caught more big perch on flickers and bandits than we did walleye.
Right, and we went out the other day. We were out 2 days ago. It was the 4 of us, and we were catching perch down there. And the schools of perch, are incredible. I've spent more time so far in Lake St. Clair this year than I have in the last few. Probably because I haven't been guiding as much, and I've been doing more fun fishing. I spent a week straight out there for Madness. Every spot we stopped was, for the most part, was loaded with perch.
They're
And
everywhere.
and even now, like, it doesn't matter if you're in the channel in 32 foot or if you're off the channel in 20 foot. I mean, the schools of fish that we're seeing, perch, walleye, silver bass, it is incredible right now. Like, guys, we are in the glory days right now. Like, we always talk about the good old days. We are in the good old days, and it's time to enjoy it because you can go out there and find just about anything, and you don't even need live scope. Like, they're out there.
The three of you guys were all pitching at him the other night with the scope, and I was just
Me.
I was just casting the
Not
jig
me.
off the
Two of
back
them
the
were.
boat.
Two of them were. I didn't have the scope.
I didn't catch a single fish using scope.
No, I might have.
still caught just as many as you guys.
I
You
might
do
have-
not need live scope. to
No,
catch
they're.
this walleye.
That's what I'm saying. They're out there, and that's what's beautiful. Is like because those two guys, Cody and Chase, were running the scope.
Yeah.
And every now and then I'd pitch at one, and to be honest with you, the ones that I pitched at on scope wouldn't bite, and then
Yeah.
I would let those guys start working the scope again because I also don't think you need 3 different baits on a fish's head. Like that, obviously, that's not going to help you catch it. So I was blind casting. You know, you were blind casting behind us. I was blind casting into the channel, and we were crushing fish. And that's what I was telling people. Like, you can legitimately go out there right now, down the channels. You pick the channel, north, middle, south. You pick it. The current is so slow down there. Target them how you want. You want to pull planer boards and bottom bouncers? Go ahead. You want a long line bottom bouncers? Go ahead. You want to use a jig and a crawler? Go ahead. You want to use a jig and wrap? Video coming soon. You want to use a jig and wrap? Go ahead. You want to use a jig and a plastic? Go ahead. Don't use a rip and wrap.
No blade bait.
Don't use that. I don't know why. You want to use a jig and spoon, a buckshot spoon? Go ahead. Did you throw a hair jig?
I did throw a hair jig.
Did you get bit?
I did.
All right. So you want to throw a hair jig? Go ahead.
Which-
It's just incredible right now. And nobody realizes what's going on, and there's thousands and thousands of fish out there to be caught.
Real quick, back to the hair jig thing.
Okay.
Fish flies, mayflies, whatever you want to call them, they're hatching right now.
It's happening.
A brown hair jig, whether it's a Northland marabou jig, a VMC hair jig, whatever.
Thanks for naming all the stuff we have in the store. That's on the ordering department.
Well, that's on you.
Yeah, you're right.
That is the best bait that you can put in front of a walleye or a perch or a small.
Or smallmouth even.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a very, very...
That is what is happening in Lake St. Clair right now. That is what everything is eating. I mean, yeah, we talked about the walleye having perch in them, but how many did you have that came up with spitting mayflies?
In their mouth, like you could see them all in their mouth again. It's like that time of year.
Yeah,
for
that's
sure.
what they're eating.
And
they will be eating them for another 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, I would say this week is when we're really going to start seeing those big mats start showing up on our side of the lake. They've been down on that side of the lake for about a week now on the south side. We're going to start seeing a lot of those big mats of fish flies starting to show up, and that's when you can really get into them and get these fish off the bottom. Now, that's something, unless you're throwing like top waters, you might want scope for just so you make sure you're in the right part of the water column. But the fishing can be really good, and especially using that. As tough as the mayflies make the fishing, I think it's sometimes over-exaggerated because it makes the fishing very good as well.
Yeah. Even the last couple of years, we caught Atlantics on the hair jigs.
Yeah.
When it was, when the fish flies overlapped with the Atlantics, obviously. This year
well, they'd come up, you'd be sitting there floating minnows, and they'd be come up eating bugs off the surface, and it's like, okay, well, they're not eating minnows. I just watched it eat a caddisfly, or I just watched it eat a mayfly.
Yep.
So, yeah, guys, the fishing has been really good. Though the weather hasn't cooperated, the fishing's been good. And honestly, the fishing's going to stay good. I've been seeing a lot of empty boat launches, and it kind of bums me out. One, because I want you guys in here shopping. But two, the fishing's so good, and, like, we're just not taking advantage of it. So, like, we'll continue to take advantage of it because the less pressure, the better. But, I mean, the river is still producing limits. The lake is still producing limits. Now, it's not catching. It's not catching.
You got to work for them.
But a lot of you guys that are listening to us aren't catchers. You're fishermen. You like to go out and fish and break down water. That's what's happening right now. And the reward is a full live well. It's not, 4 here, 5 here. If you get on those fish and you get a program together, you will catch. With that being said, let's roll into the Derby, dude. Let's do a recap on the Derby. We did a Facebook Live on the Derby. But I want to go into it with you guys here on the podcast. We'll talk briefly about it. We'll go over our winners, the fish that were caught this year, and just how incredible it was. We had over 250 participants this year. We had the most fish weighed by adults. We had the most fish weighed by kids. We had probably the least amount of salmon and trout weighed.
Yeah. Well, John Molman also didn't have his boat for a couple weeks. So.
Yeah, wow. There is that, but still, like, there just wasn't like those accidental catches. We saw some nice like some bottom bouncer Atlantics and stuff like that, but the guys that were targeting them did not have as much success. So I would say that's the only spot in the Derby that might have been lacking a little bit. Um, but other than that, it was an incredible Derby. We weighed by far our biggest fish in the Derby. The second place fish was the biggest fish our Derby had ever weighed in until the first place fish came in.
Even third place.
Yeah, even third place was a
8
really
pounds.
nice fish.
8 pounds, 3 ounces.
Yeah. 8 pounds, 3 ounces, and what, 29 inches?
Yeah. That's
So our top three were all 29 inches plus. But our first place fish, a huge congratulations to our boy Miles. Miles Felzon. He's only 19, so he's going to be chasing this ghost for a long time. But congratulations, Miles. Miles weighed in a fish. It was 30 and a half inches, 11 pounds, 12 ounces. Look at this thing.
Giant walleye.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was a giant. When he
Big.
texted me and told me he had a giant, the day before he weighed a fish and he didn't have a scale. So he texted me, he's like, I got a giant. I was like, okay, dude. He's like, no, I got a scale this time. Like, I got a giant. And he brought it in and it actually weighed more than what he thought it was. He opened that cooler. He told me it weighed 11.1.
Yeah.
And it weighed 11.12. And I opened that cooler and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, I've never laid my hands on a 12 pounder.
No.
So I just knew, like, I've caught big
it's-
fish, but not like that. And like when you just see, you know, the size of that fish, because everyone thinks it's like a fat gut. Like everyone thinks, you know, it's a big belly full of eggs or whatever. The shoulders on this fish, the tail on this fish, like an absolutely incredible fish. So congratulations, Miles, dude. That was awesome. Second place, Rod weighed a 9 pound, 5 ounce, 29 incher. When that fish was weighed, I go, dang, I think you're gonna have it.
It was the same day, wasn't it?
It was the same day.
They were weighed the same day.
He weighed it in the morning. Miles weighed his at night. And Miles was on some big fish, so he said he's like, I'm gonna get a bigger one because he brought in a 8.6. He brought in that got bumped off for that 9.5.
Yeah.
And then it got all shook up when he brought in the big one.
Yeah.
But an absolutely incredible fish. Again, Miles, congratulations, dude. Thank you for bringing that fish in. That'll be the Derby record for a while, I think. I hope I'm wrong. I hope someone beats it, but I think that one's going to be tough.
I don't see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll. I mean, maybe length.
Yeah.
Length could get.
And then we think, length, I think, but there's a pure beast. Yeah. And then we talked about how good the steelhead fishing was. Our salmon and trout division was won by a steelhead this year.
Big steelhead.
A big steelhead. Hunter came in, our boy Hunter, who's been helping us with our minnow tank nightmare. Hunter, he brought in his 30 inches, 11 pounds, 11 ounces. This thing was fat. It was an absolute football. But a beautiful fish, caught trolling, orange spoon, of course. What else would you be using? Don't tell him. Just kidding. You'd be using an orange spoon.
Orange Crush.
You bang, B.
Mini Streak.
Yep. So he was pulling one. Or no.
No, he caught that.
No, I'm wrong.
Caught that on a Rapala. He caught that on a blue
and silver
F9.
F9 or F11, but either way, something like that.
Yeah.
Dude, even the kids weighed some giant fish. Like, so our boy Aiden, all the kids that have been on this list have been kids that have been fishing this Derby probably since the very beginning, if not the last 2-3 years. But our boy Aiden came in at first place. He had a 27.5 inch, 8 pounds, 6 ounce fish, which is hilarious because we were giving Tim, our third place guy up here, who got 8 pounds, 3 ounces. We were giving him a hard time. We're like, hey, you should let Aiden just take third place. Yeah. But Aiden got a better prize package anyway. So Aiden had a great fish. Sure. Colton, and I'm not going to say any of their last names, guys. Obviously, I mean, they're kids, so I don't want to be putting that up on YouTube. Yeah. But Colton did really well. He finished with 8 pounds, 2 ounces. His fish was 28 inches. Yeah. So his fish was just a little bit slimmer than Aiden's.
And that was late in the year.
Colton's was
weighed. That was probably the latest.
The last weighed fish, yeah. Well, because Colton double dipped. He also came in. He had a 6 pound, 3 ounce salmon that came in early.
That steelhead.
Or steelhead, yeah. And that came in March.
Yeah.
So he got second in the walleye division and first in the salmon and trout division with that steelhead. Yep. And then Hunter did a really good job too, dude. 5 pounds, 13 ounces at, like, what is that, 20 5.5 inches.
Yeah, it's
Like a beautiful fish, dude. So
Great
even
fish.
the kids like showed out.
Yeah.
I am proud to say, I am very proud to say, all the kids that weighed those fish, jig fish.
Every single one of them. Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
That's awesome. Credit to the dads. Credit to you guys getting those kids out and getting them fishing. But absolutely awesome that those fish were jig fish. And the weights were incredible. So we won't spend too much time on the Derby, guys. If you want to check it out, you can go find it over on our Facebook. I don't think I uploaded that one to YouTube, but you can find it over on our Facebook. We did a huge breakdown. We did a bunch of giveaways at the end. Dude, we gave away. This is the other thing I kind of wanted to talk about was we gave away again almost $3,000 in prizes, and that's a credit to you guys this year because for whatever reason, whether it be the political nonsense that's going on with the tariffs and whatever, or it has been a tougher year for a lot of companies and a lot of stuff like that. We didn't have near the sponsor support that we usually had. And I was kind of unsure if I even wanted to say anything because I'm really not trying to put any of these guys on blast. But we did not have near the sponsor support. Roy Miller stepped up in a big way. Roy and the guys over at Fat Boy Jig stepped up in a huge way. They sponsored the live leaderboard, sent us 3 or 4 different prize packages. So a huge shout out to them. Mike and the crew over at Lure Lipstick. Mike was awesome. Mike helped us out a lot, but a lot of the Whitewater, Mags, Pat donated a rod. Yeah. Pat's always great. Number 1 selling rod so far this year are the Mags custom rods. Guys, we are the number 1 retailer in the country for Mags rods. I'm proud about that. I'm proud to sell Michigan made products. I'm proud to sell quality products, and I'm proud to work with small businesses.
They're
so
good rods too.
I had to throw that in there. I was super stoked.
We don't
good
rods
rods.
to sell them.
They're good.
It's the best you can buy,
and especially for the money.
Yeah,
we've got other rods in here that are pretty expensive. But it's just when you're supporting a Michigan made product and the customer service is top notch. I think that's one thing a lot of companies are missing out on is customer service right now. But it is what it is. But anyway. So, guys, it's a credit to you guys because if we don't have that many people sign up, we can't give away that much stuff. I mean, we probably gave away, I think, well over half the kids got stuff. And when the rest of them come in, we've got little prize packs for them. It's just too hard to track them all down right now. But we've got stuff for them. So if your kid fished in the Derby and you didn't get anything, please come into the store. We'll make sure they get taken care of. But yeah, we gave away $3,000, and then that doesn't count the money that we paid out. We paid out another, I think, $1,200. So it was a really successful Derby. I'm already looking forward to next year. People are already hounding me about a fall Derby. We'll see. We did
a fall Derby last year, right?
We did a fall Derby. It was the very first year. It was kind of last minute. I think we had like 40 guys sign up for it. We didn't do the giveaways. It was a lot more, and we'll do it the same way this year. I'm not going to do the giveaways. Whoever buys in is what we'll pay out. That's kind of what we did last year. It was 100% payout. So whoever buys in will pay out. Depending how many people buy in, we'll pay out either the top 2 or 3. So if we get enough people to buy in where it's worth it to pay out 3 spots, we will. If not, we'll just pay out the top 2. So, and then the winner also gets a free entry into the Derby next year or whenever they decide to join. So if Miles wants to fish the fall, he'll get a free entry. Yeah. If he wants to use it towards the spring, he can do that too. So we'll see. I mean, stay tuned. Obviously, we'll have quite a few podcasts up until then, so we'll let you know. We're always active on Facebook and Instagram and all that, so you'll see that stuff on there. But another thing that we did that I'm super proud of, that absolutely crushed, and I'm not trying to brag, but it crushed, the bash.
The bash was amazing.
Voila. I don't even know if you can see it. It's pretty light, Greg. You see that bad boy?
Was amazing.
It was a ton of fun. And for us to say that, we didn't even get to fish in it. We legitimately worked. What time did you come to the shop on that day? 4:30?
3:30. Because I was here when you were waking up. That was early.
Yeah. You know what? You were doing laps, driving around. Yeah, so we went from 3:30 in the morning till I think the weigh-in was done by like 4:30.
Yeah.
And then I think we had a couple sodas until I legitimately passed out. We ended up going upstairs. The team of Jake Molman,
Donnie Uplegger,
and Chase Gronley won it. So we stayed up with them for a little bit, but I legitimately passed out on my couch at like 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it any longer. I wanted to. But I was gassed. So much time and energy and effort went into the bash. Like, honestly, I wish we weren't so busy because I would have loved to do a whole episode on the bash.
Could do a whole episode on that.
Billy Rose, and we might. If you guys want to hear a whole episode on the bash, I'll leave it to you guys. If you guys want to hear a whole episode on the bash, please leave it down below. If we do an episode, we'll talk about what went into it. We'll talk about the actual day of the event. We'll talk about what we had to do on the back end, plus what those guys were doing. But we'll give you a little sneak peek now of everything. We'll clip pictures in it and whatnot. But if you want to hear a full episode on the bash, let us know. It was the first and the only, well, I shouldn't say the first, but at least the first in 10 years. And the only high stakes walleye tournament. By high stakes, I'm talking about thousands of dollars.
One-day shootout, too.
One-day shootout. I was on Saturday the 19th. $250 a boat, 50 boat max. Our field filled up in 4 hours. So it was incredible. Our field filled up in just under 4 hours. 50 boat max. We paid out $6,000 to first place. We ended up paying out. I can't do the math right now, but we ended up paying out almost at least 10.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I'll keep it conservative. We paid out at least 10 between the first 3 prizes. We had a biggest salmon pot. We had all that sort of stuff, and we had the best sponsors. Like, we legitimately had the best sponsors and the best crew. Like, if it wasn't for Billy Rose, over with Rose Marine, helping us out as much as he did and putting as much work into it as he did, if it wasn't for the Prokowski family, Matt and Phil and Susie allowing us to use their property down the way for weigh-in, if it wasn't for our volunteers, and this is where I'm gonna, this is where you know you did something right, and this made me so jacked. We had 20 volunteers sign up for this event, not paid. All they got was a shirt. That's all we could really do for this first year. But they wanted to see this thing succeed, and whether they couldn't fish in the event or they didn't want to fish, they wanted to help out, whatever it was. We had 20 volunteers show up from 5 in the morning. So really they showed up at 4:30 because boat check started at 5.
Yeah.
From 4:30 in the morning until takeoff around 7:30, they all hung out. And then some of them went home. A lot of them stuck around and helped get the weigh-in. Yeah, almost all of them stuck around. And the ones that went home had stuff to do.
Right.
So it's like, I don't even blame, because they came back well before they needed to come back. So, like, legitimately, I would say our volunteers were with us from 4:30 in the morning until 4:30 in the afternoon. Like, legitimately 12 hours of their day. And they were absolutely incredible, because we got some incredible compliments, Billy and I did, for how organized it was and how fast it went and how smooth it was. That doesn't happen without the volunteers. That wasn't me. That wasn't Billy. That was guys like Nate, like Parker.
I was in the bait shop all day.
Well, I mean, that's a job in its own. That's right, because we had Dean running around out here. And Dean was there for 12 hours. And it's just, it's incredible. I don't even want to go through to start naming all the volunteers, because I would do a disservice if I missed one, because they were all incredible. There's a picture online. You can head over to our Facebook. Actually, there was an article in the Times Herald, and we made sure they got front page. The Voice. It was incredible, and in the tournament was incredible. 24.55 pounds won it. They won $6,000. They also won a $1,700 big fish side pot. So they basically won $8,000 for a one-day shootout. Like I said, we filled up the field in 4 hours. We had camera boats on the water. We got incredible content. We had 2 different boats. We had our Hook One boat, and then we had Scott Teeter from Teeter Marine and his brother Matthew, and then his dad Daniel donate his time to take photos. So we had 2 boats out on the water, running up and down the river, covering 30 miles, because nobody really went all the way north like we thought they might. But we had 2 boats covering 30 miles of river, getting action shots on the water. So cool for the anglers to be able to access those and save those and keep them for their sake. Like, when we designed this tournament, and again, guys, I don't want to go too far into this, but I'm stoked about it. Next year is going to be hopefully 75 boats. We'll have more information coming out this fall. And I think I got to talk to the people that also help run it, Billy and everyone else that's a part behind the scenes that will remain unnamed. In case they ever have to make a decision. I don't want people coming after them, but there's more than just me and Billy behind the scenes. But I got to talk to Billy. I think we're going to keep it at 75 boats forever.
100. I think 100.
I understand, but what people like about it was how fast it was, how organized, how clean it was. We got to do everything in Marine City, everything in the Bell River. The community support was absolutely incredible. Like, the sponsors and the volunteers, I can't say it enough, made it possible. But the community support from Elginak and Marine City, and Cotterville, like in that area, like I would hate to take it somewhere else. And with 75 boats, I know you can do it in the river.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
know we could get it to 12 grand payout. I know our sponsors, what our sponsors got. We had almost 400 people show up to weigh in. At its busiest point, we probably had 300 people there. Between everybody passing through, we were easily at 400. But at our busiest point, we probably had 300 people there. We had we only used half the grass field because we weren't sure what to expect, and it was literally packed. Like by the time it was time to do the awards, the field was packed because I was the MC up there. We got to get an MC. We got to get a better MC, someone that's good.
I'll do it. I'm good.
Giant walleye.
Yeah.
Was that your audition?
Oh yeah.
I like it.
Yep.
But it was such a cool event. It was so cool. If you guys didn't see anything or whatever, just scroll back. Like I said, it was in April, so you have to scroll back a little bit on our social medias. But we had stuff on there. It was an unbelievable event.
April 19th.
April on this shirt, pal. Chris at Boulder City caught this. Everything that I did said April 19th because I got an R and a P flipped. Dyslexic, in a hurry. That's what happened. But you know what? If that's the worst thing that happened, and I think it was the worst thing that happened. So I'm not going to complain too much, and I'll take the blame for it. So it all works out. But yeah, it was incredible. So guys, keep an eye out. We're going to, the 50 teams that fished it are going to get first dibs to come back next year. Depending how many teams come back, we'll fill it in, hopefully up to 75. But I'd really like it to be 75 boats, $10,000 for first place. I know our sponsors are ready to step up in a big way because of what they got. You know, the weigh-in wasn't just a weigh-in. We had all of our sponsors' tents. Whoever sponsored the event had a tent over in the park, and they were able to hang out. It's part of the social district. So like the fish company was down there selling smoked salmon, smoked jerky. They had beers for sale down there. Lumberjack was down there. They donated. Lumberjack and Billy Rose donated a bunch of hot dogs. They were literally giving away free hot dogs. And next year we've got something really, really cool that might happen. I don't want to say too much, but we might be turning it into something a little bit bigger than a weigh-in. There might be like a little before and after party with some live entertainment and stuff like that. So I don't want to get too far into that just because if it doesn't happen, I'm going to look like a loser. But absolutely incredible. That was probably my highlight. Well, it's hard to say because you got to think January is the fishing show. That's the first half. We don't even have time to go that far into it.
Fishing show is great.
The fishing show was incredible. The fishing show was incredible. Like it was probably one of our best years yet.
Yeah.
So I man, it's just when you sit here and think back about it, it's insane how much has been done in the last 6 months. And most people would be ready for a break, and I think we're ready for more. So we got a few more things we're going to touch on, guys, but the bash was probably one of my biggest highlights. Because also with the bash, this was something that we didn't even mention, but also with the bash is when Pat came down. So Pat from Mags Custom Rods was down here. He was doing an event on the dock. He was at the captain's meeting. He was here. Anyone that came down, we had Pete Pappas with plastics. Pete's fished tons of tournaments. PWTs, MWCs, MWTs, the Walleye Tour. He's fished a lot of events. Anyone that came to the event had a lot of really good things to say. And a lot of them said they either want to be a bigger part of it next year or they're going to fish in it next year, which is exactly what we wanted. So that was super cool. But Pat was down here. He threw his annual, every spring we have Pat come down and we do our Mags Custom Rods event where people can come see Pat, chat with him, talk to him about his rods, ask him questions, get all of his swag. He gets to pester Nate. I think him and Nate ate probably $300 in Mexican food that weekend.
Maybe more. There's a lot.
Dude, the amount of asada fries that you guys ate was like sickening. That and tacos.
Can't go wrong
So
with it.
good.
Delicious.
So good. Great Lakes
Delicious.
Taqueria in Marine City, Michigan. Shameless plug. They don't sponsor us. They probably don't even know who we are.
I'm going to DoorDash as soon as we're done with this podcast.
Yeah. I'll go. Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yep. Good call on that. So so that was super cool with Pat coming down. And then separately, this was before the tournament in March, we had Pete Pappas come down. Pete Pappas is owner of Plastics. They do split tails. They're getting into paddle tail. I'm not going to ruin. He's got a lot going on, but he makes some of the best. If you guys haven't seen him yet, they're over on our Facebook. I don't have any samples in here. But he makes some of the best looking plastics I've ever seen. color shifting plastics, incredible paints, incredible powders. He does a really good job. We held one of his events in March. We had an open house with Pete in March. Perfect timing. Everyone's getting ready for Detroit River. Everyone's getting ready for St. Clair River. Nobody knew Mother Nature was going to just shaft us like it did.
And we had a line going out the door at 7 a.m.
We had a line out the door at 7 a.m. We sold 850 bags of his plastics in a weekend. Like, it's just incredible, man. I never would have thought, and it's a credit to you guys, and it's a credit to our customers that aren't listening and tuning in. And if they're not, make sure you like, share, and subscribe so they can continue to do this, because we want to continue to do this. But it's a credit to you guys and them that we even get to do this. But I never would have thought little old Marine City on the back street down a dirt road. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. A line out the door at 7 a.m. We had cars down there. We don't even have that big of a storefront for those of you that haven't been here. And it was jam packed. And the most memorable part about all of it is the people weren't even necessarily in there to buy plastics. They were there to buy his plastics.
But there's people that just came down to see.
They just wanted to talk, man.
Yeah.
We talked fishing. We talked tournaments. Because, again, it's in March. It's before all this stuff starts.
When guys are getting excited.
Yeah, man. We're talking tournaments. We're talking fishing. We're talking guiding. We're talking what we're looking forward to. Again, you have no idea what's going to happen. At that point, you have no idea what the weather's going to be. We're talking salmon. We're talking walleye. We're talking Lake Erie, Detroit River, St. Clair River, Lake Huron. Like, all this stuff. Absolutely incredible. It's legitimately when I decided to do the bait shop and put literally everything into this place, that those were the events that I hope to see. Like, I just had to sit back and take it in, man. Like, I couldn't believe how many people, all our friends from all different areas of the state coming in. I mean, dude, we had people from Grand Rapids, Kalamazoo, Lansing, Alpena. Like, we had people coming to this thing and just hanging out.
Away.
Yeah, just hanging out, talking.
Yep.
So it was really cool. Big Don was the first person in the story. He's from Sandusky. He got up at 4:30 in the morning to come grab Pete's plastics, and he took advantage of it. But Don's the man. Yeah. And just to see that stuff, it's so cool. And it gets me excited for, like, I know it's a long way away, and I'm not going to rush what we've got coming up. We've got a really good summer coming up. We've got an awesome fall coming up. I can only imagine how good the fishing's going to be. We'll get through the winter, and then we'll be at show season again like that.
Show season is right around.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like,
as crazy as it sounds, right around.
It's going to be there sooner than we think, and especially you're going to be busy.
Oh, I'm going to be very busy.
Speaking of fall, go ahead, Nate. Shameless plug.
All right. Blue Water Flyways Guide Service. I am the owner and head guide, starting it up this year. Yeah. Give me a call, 810-335-5292. Got lots of dates available still. On up to 8 people. You're going to have me and another young fella taking you out goose hunting for the day. I don't know if we'll kill anything, but I guarantee you we will have fun.
I like the honesty. You're definitely going to kill stuff out there with Nate. Yeah. But I'm proud of you, dude. I'm happy for you. It's been stressful.
It's been a lot.
You're in the spending phase, so hopefully you can be in the making phase.
Well, there's not a whole lot of insurance companies that want to insure a bunch of guys.
Insure a 20-year-old with a gun?
Yeah, running around cornfields up in the thumb.
But fair enough.
It's okay.
But yeah, so it's going to be a super busy fall, man. If you guys want to go out goose hunting, obviously you know where to get a hold of Nate. He's in the store.
We might even do a little giveaway. Podcast giveaway.
Okay. Not today. I'm not prepared for it today. You guys will have to stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Bummer. You'll have to come back. But yeah, so happy for you, dude. But before we know it, it's going to be, we're going to be at show season, and it's going to be next year. And it's like, after seeing how those open houses go and those events go and everything like that, it makes it super exciting to do it and to make it even better, because like the whole thing is like, we know what we would want if we were going to these events.
Absolutely.
And so we try and cater it towards, you guys coming, because the more fun you guys have, the more fun we have. If you guys are there miserable, then I'm going to be miserable. So I'm really looking forward to that. Speaking of open houses, it's going to flash across the screen right here. Pow. July 19th, we're going to have our summer open house here. We're going to have all of our new products out that we've had this year. We're going to have a ton of sales in the store, but we're also going to be doing something different. We've got a bunch of stuff from the charter business and from like samples of the bait shop and just from like my own personal collection. We're going to be doing a massive garage sale here. We're going to have rods. We're going to have reels. We're going to have jigs. We're going to have plastics. We're going to have tackle storage. We're going to have crankbaits, everything. And some of the stuff's going to be brand new in the package. insane pricing, like cheaper than we get it here at the store. So if you're not doing anything, it'll be going live on our Facebook probably sometime. Well, when you guys see it, probably sometime this week. But you can check it out. It's going to be July 19th and 20th, where it's going to be that weekend. And we're going to do it probably from the garage sale, probably start around like 8 o'clock in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning, and go. But some crazy, insane deals. Like I said, a lot of stuff will be very lightly used. A lot of the jigs will be stuff that just didn't quite make our wall. But they're really good jigs, and they're just we can't.
Some one of a kind reverse Wonder Reds stuff. Like
The reverse pimp daddy.
The reverse pimp daddy. That's a popular one. We both messed that up.
Yeah. Oh, wow, more than once.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll have a ton of stuff for you guys. So that's another open house that's going to be coming up. That will be the second half of 2025. So it'll be in July.
What else do we talk about?
That's it, man.
Whipping tournament.
I forgot about the whipping tournament.
We did a whipping tournament.
I forgot about the whipping tournament.
Last minute whipping tournament.
Oh my god.
We thought 20 boats were gonna sign up. We had 50 sign up.
No, 40. Yeah, well, 44, 50,
44.
basically 50,
Basically 50.
36.
And the fish was. I don't know what I'm trying to say. The fishing was
fishing was incredible. Well, the fishing was incredible.
It was not good.
You had 30 fish on 3 passes jigging before dark.
Our biggest one was 18 inches.
Right, so that's kind of where we had so many people that wanted to do an after dark tournament, a whipping trip. We had a lot of people. We wanted to see who was going to be, top dog out there on the water after dark. So we decided to throw an impromptu whipping tournament. So we threw this after dark tournament because it didn't just have to be whipping. It could be whipping, it could be hand lining, you could be casting, you could jig. We were pulling worms to start. It started from 7. It went from 7 to 1.
7 to 1.
Yeah, 7 to 1. So, and we thought it was going to be something small. It was mostly just to get our friends out there. $100 buy-in. We had a big fish side pop, but we just wanted to get a lot of our friends out there and just do almost like a friendly competition. We know a lot of people from the store, and that was the whole goal. And this thing ended up blowing up. We put this thing on Facebook. I think the post itself had over 30,000 views. We had 44 boats sign up in legitimately a week and a half. So it
was like 5 days. It wasn't even a week.
Is that what it was?
It was quick.
Yeah, it was crazy. Honestly, that's probably why I didn't forget about it, but it definitely slipped my mind because everything's been so crazy.
It was so fast. And
it was insane. And the fishing was tough. Troy, I don't want to mess your name up, Troy. I'm so sorry, dude. Troy Piotrowski and Trevor Dusty won it. They had an awesome bag, dude.
Besides, for them, they have 19 and a half?
Yeah, you better be careful what you're about to say.
Besides for them, very tight.
Oh, we had second place by a mile.
You didn't have second. You had second place by 1 fish. If I would have called my 1.25 pound fish out with a 4-pounder that we lost at the back of the boat, we would have had.
It was probably 8 pounds. Probably 8 pounds at the back of the boat.
It was a 4-pounder.
But it was true. All of it was about one fish.
Yeah.
Trevor and them guys, they had a really nice bag. They had 3 super solid fish and then 2 filler fish. Me and Matt Horn, we came in second, and that was because we caught a 5.5 pounder pulling worms. Yeah. And I thought the 5.5 pounder was going to be way bigger than it was, but it was so fat. It was literally full of water. I guess the insides looked all gross. Something was wrong with that fish. Thank God it bit when it did.
Yeah. Me and Parker finished 7th or 8th. We had 11-9.
Oh, dude, it was one.
I mean, and it was
one fish. Yeah, one fish would have put you. One fish would have put you anywhere you needed to be.
Yeah, it was tight. It was really good.
We will definitely be doing the whipping tournament again. I'm gonna try and figure out how to structure it. I don't know if we're gonna do like maybe one whipping tournament. You guys can let us know. Shoot us a message or let us know below in the comments. I don't know if we're gonna do one after dark tournament that's got like high buy-in, or maybe we make it like a 4-week league with a championship at the end.
One whipping tournament, one bash, top 25 boats move on to a championship.
That'd be interesting.
Very interesting.
That would be interesting because I definitely want to get together. Jeff from the Madness tournament, we literally wouldn't have been able to do the bash without him. I can't believe I didn't even mention that earlier. Yeah. If it wasn't for him helping us out with the rules and the weigh-in and the scales and everything, like shout out to the Madness tournament. But Jeff does a weekly walleye league every week on Lake St. Clair, Tuesday nights from 5:30 to 9:30. If you're not doing anything, show up, be there. Crocker boat launch every Tuesday. It's very fun. $20 buy-in per guy, extra $5 if you want to be in on the big fish side pop. But Jeff's been doing that, and we've been kind of tossing around the idea, like, he doesn't really start that till June because that's when the lake starts picking up.
Yeah.
We should really do one, and that's what I'm kicking around. Is I'd love to do like a river league. Do like 4 or 5 weeks, do it 1 day a week, and then just
Yeah.
have a championship.
But the tough part would be in the spring. I was thinking about it. It gets dark at what, 8 o'clock? You
Yeah,
have to
so
go
you just
from
you do it from 4 to 8. You also
Yeah.
don't have to run as far, dude. We're running across a freaking lake.
That's true.
In the river, you
That's true.
could do whatever as long as you're at weigh-in.
Yeah.
And we would just do the weigh-in here or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's something that we've been kind of tinkering around. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, that's really it for the first half of 2025. And it's like crazy. I'm just sitting here trying to think about what it was. I apologize for how sporadic it was, but I mean, it's like as you're talking about it, I've got a note board written right over here, and it's like as we're talking about it, there's just stuff that like I don't even have on the board. Like I wrote down the major stuff, and like the whipping tournament wasn't on there, some of the open house stuff wasn't on there. Like it's just crazy how much got done in the first half, and it's like, I just want to give you guys a big thank you. We've got I'm not going to say the best team because that would insult the other stores, because they all are very good. Like we're blessed to be in a good area with a lot of good stores that have good teams, but our team here is so rock solid. It's a credit to Nate. It's a credit to Dean. We'll have to get on the podcast so y'all can meet him, but we've got a super rock solid Parker. Parker's been working. He's got a full-time job. He's starting his own landscaping business. Yeah. He's still filling in here on the weekend some days. So like our team is super rock solid, but it's also, our customers, our community. Legitimately, I just feel very grateful where we're at here after the first half of 2025. And so it's like a huge thank you to you guys, especially for like putting up with us through the podcast. Like I know it's not consistent. We're definitely going to be getting it. If it's not every Monday, it'll be every other Monday for sure. There's just so much going on, and like this baby keeps me very busy. So for those of you that have kids, you get it. For those of you that don't have kids, Nate gets to see it.
Oh, I see it every day.
Nate gets to see it.
It's like a little pterodactyl up there.
Yeah. No shit. Yeah, exactly. But guys, for 2025, we're gonna go into the second half real quick, and then we're gonna get out of here. For 2025, we don't have anything super crazy planned. We have the open house July 19th, like I said. Hopefully a flyer flew across your screen. If it didn't, then that's on me. But hopefully we get to see you guys there July 19th and 20th. We'll be out on the dock. It'll be really good. We'll probably get Julie from Jubilee Farms here. She's been doing a couple pop-up shops. Yeah. She's got some really good products, some farm fresh products, handmade or homemade, like soaps, and her I want to call it lipstick. Her chapstick is very good. The homemade honey is very good.
Air fresheners.
The tallow, the air fresheners. So like Jubilee Farms will probably be here. We'll make it a really good event on the dock. Hopefully Mother Nature will cooperate. Probably blowing 50 that day. We'll see. But other than that, we don't really have anything major for the back half of 2025. Stay tuned. We might do a derby. Just a very small derby, 100% payout, kind of like what we talked about. Yeah. Nate's going to be busy in the goose field. If you guys want a goose hunt, give Nate a call. You don't need anything but a gun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come to the shop, talk to me, call me, check our website, Facebook page. We're actually doing
Blue Water Flyways.
Blue Water Flyways. We're doing a giveaway right now on our Facebook. If you're following us and share our post, you can win
true?
a 4-person goose hunt.
Is that true?
Yeah, it's going right now.
It's already posted?
It's already posted.
I'm in. I'd actually have to buy a waterfowl license for the first time in 4 years. That'd be sad.
Yeah, don't want to give away.
So yeah, you guys can check that out. We'll be busy doing that. Obviously we'll have a lot of stuff coming up towards the end, which we'll touch on. But usually the back half of July, August, first half of September, that's kind of our slower months. So we're just going to be kicking it, man. We're going to be fishing. We're going to be hanging out in the shop. We might do some pop-up sales. We've got a lot of stuff in the store that I want to move. So because of that, you guys will be getting some really good sales, because I'm already thinking towards 2026 and inventory, and what I want to put on the walls, and we only have so much space. So like July 19th, I can tell you right now, there's going to be jigging rods you're going to be able to save a ton of money on. St. Croix rods you'll be able to save a ton of money on. A lot of the crankbaits for your fall fishing and early spring fishing, your Bill Lewis PWCs, the Rapala Gold Miners, the Bandits. We're going to have really good deals on those. P-line laser spoons for you guys that like to salmon jig. We're going to have a really good deal on those. So we'll be posting a flyer on our Facebook. That's the best way to keep up with all that.
Yeah.
We're going to have Santa at the shop again in December. That'll be going on the back half of 2025. But now that it's slowing down, we'll be talking to you every week or every other week. But we'll be here. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. Again, we're going to flash your discount codes here. Whitewaters came out with some awesome new shirts. I'm not wearing one right now because I'm a piece. But their new duck camo tech shirt's super nice. They got some new button-up short sleeve and long sleeves that are really nice. The crew at Whitewater has been incredible. Michigan-based business out of Muskegon. So you can check them out at whitewaterfish.com. Use our promo code. Papa's Pilar Rum right here. These bad boys. They have some new flavors out as well. They've got some new brews, some new batches, they call it, I think, when you're talking about rum and whatnot. But they've got some new Florida Keys-based company. Michigan was a big part of Hemingway's life when he was in Traverse City and stuff. So it's really cool working with them. Unfortunately, the discount code in Michigan doesn't work, but you can find this in store. If you can't find it in store, let your local liquor store know. We'll get them hooked up with the right people. Cortland Line, they've been our number one selling line all year long. That is quality stuff. It's made in the USA. We've got it in a bunch of different pounds and a bunch of different colors. We've got a bunch of bulk spools in different colors. So if you want to get your reel spooled up, you can bring it to us. We've got blue, purple, pink, green, yellow, seafoam,
gray.
They so colorblind, dude. That's the seafoam. Coming from the colorblind kid.
You're colorblind too.
So yeah, Cortland Line, you can check that stuff out. And Great Lakes Anglers Co. Captain Adam. It's ran by a charter captain up there in Saginaw Bay. But they've got really good coffee for honestly a really good price for what homegrown coffee is. So if you want to check them out, GreatLakesAnglersCo.com. We also have a promo code with them. You can check all the links down below in the comments. Please like, share, subscribe. Nate, you got anything, dude? I'm done with my rant.
That's it.
Cool. On a serious note, guys, for those of you that legitimately stuck around to the very end, we cannot thank you enough.
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, it literally means the world to us. You guys are our best supporters. You are. I'm not playing favorites, but seriously, we love you guys. We appreciate all the support, and we're looking forward to the second half of 2025. And we will see you next time on the Hook One Pod. Adios.